Morning, everybody. Here's a quick video just discussing how I use Google Translate, but you could use really any good translating service, but how you can use it to help you as a teacher with VIP Kid. So, first, one thing that is really helpful is if you want to make sure something is very specific in your feedback, they do have their learning partner who can help the parents understand your feedback. But if you want to make sure that it translates correctly, because sometimes they translate so weird, which we have seen on our end, and it happens the same for the parents, you can put your feedback through a translate service. Now, I usually only do this if I'm really worried about the parents not understanding a specific goal or something I want the parents to know. Other than that, I usually rely on the LP to help them kind of understand the general idea, or just like how when I get a crazy one, but I can see the general gist of it. But if I really have something specific for the parents, I'll run it through a translating service. Next, when the fireman pops on, and sometimes gives instructions to my student, I kind of want to know what they asked them to do because sometimes I like to see if the student actually does it. So I will keep Translate open and I will just copy what they say to the student and then see, like sometimes they'll be like, please restart or go to your router or go get your mom or something like that. And if they don't, I've translated it so then I can say, go to your mom or something, and then they're always like shocked because they think I can read and I can't. But it just kind of helps me support the firemen in helping me, and so that's helpful. The other thing is if the students or their parents press the fireman button, when the firemen come back, they have this thing that pops up and it shows, what does it say? When you translate it, it says, hello, students and parents. The teaching teacher has received your help information. We will deal with the situation according to the supervision. Thank you for your trust and support for VIP Kid, educational teacher. And I know that sometimes teachers see that and they're like, oh no, who's the educational teacher? I thought I was. Who is this? What's going on? Deal with the situation. And that's just really them popping up. It's their automated message of, hey, we heard that you clicked the fireman button. We'll be there in a minute. So no need to worry about that. But this is an easy way to understand what the firemen are saying. Next, if you have any lesson material with Chinese words, it's really nice because if you put it into Translate, you can press, there's a sound button. And when you click it, you can hear it pronounce it correctly, usually correctly. So I'll do this with student names or like when it was doing the Chinese character names or different places or emperors, empresses, things like that, that I would like to say it correctly. You can go in there and click it and they can help you learn how to pronounce it correctly. And then next, if you want to give simple instructions, so like circle or draw a line, you can type that in, and then if your student is really having a hard time, then you can paste that into the chat box, and especially if it's like a young child, the parent can read that and then they can help them because sometimes it gets lost in translation. So that's kind of an easy way. If it's just if you do everything you can, it's just kind of like, okay, please just circle. And so I don't try to use that one as much. That's like a last ditch. Like they're just not understanding anything. I'm just going to give a quick instruction in the chat box to the parent. And then the last thing is just be careful with anything you do put in that you don't know the translation yet. So if you want to make sure that it translates correctly, you translate it to Chinese, copy that, put it back in, and translate it back to English. And if it still makes sense, it may sound a little bit odd, but if it still makes sense, then you know it's good. If it totally changes it, then you need to make sure to change that, or else the parents are not going to understand what you're saying. So just be wary with this tool, but just know it can really help you in a lot of ways. If you use a translation service for anything, please put that in the comments below. You guys are wonderful. Have a great day and happy teaching.